And you're seeing unprecedented unity here for President Trump.
Indeed, yeah.
I think that's what's important.
The irony of Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz saying this is moments prior at the RNC.
Speaking. What night are you speaking? Are you speaking tonight? One person. No. Hey, you're not. If you took that stage, you would get booed off of it. You would get booed off the stage.
This is what he did to former Speaker of the House Kevin McCarthy. Great unity indeed.
They openly campaigned for racial reparations and bigoted policies that target white people. Let's not prove our valor by enduring pain. I'd like to start dishing it out. Less fortitude, more attitude.
Funny enough, Gaetz thinks he's making a solid point here.
Reparations are the act of making amends to someone or a group of people who have been wronged. Germany paid billions of dollars in reparations to Holocaust victims or their families and to Israel after the Nazi atrocities of World War II. And in 1988, the U.S. paid more than 80,000 Japanese Americans who were held in internment camps during World War II. They each got $20,000. But African Americans have never gotten reparations for their 246 years of slavery.
To be against reparations is unjust. It is not only needed, but should be demanded.
We, of course, want to take time to mourn the loss of innocent life, but we should not wait in acting to prevent these frequent aggressive acts from happening in the future. Democrats want to blame guns, of course, but we know it's not that simple.
Actually, it kind of is that simple if we look at the data.
The FBI tracks mass shootings where 4 or more people are killed. Looking back over time, you can see that the number of these events and the fatalities have risen dramatically. But one undeniable fact is that there are more civilian-owned guns per person here in the US than anywhere else in the world. In fact, when you break down the number of firearms in the US, it comes down to more than 1 gun per person. And that number is also climbing. There was a ban on assault rifles in 1994, but it was dropped 10 years later when a Republican-led Congress failed to renew it. In the years since, assault rifles like the AR-15 have been used in some of the country's deadliest mass shootings.
But Gaetz, a well-off congressman who alleges he takes no corporate money, yet has been compensated well, has taken donations from the likes of the NRA and many more.
Good people have a right to exist in the country without wondering if some crazy leftist or mentally ill individual lurking around the corner is about to post up and kill you.
An interesting take here, Mr. Gaetz.
This weekend's mass murder in Texas, the deadliest shooting of the year, eclipsing the ongoing mourning for what was the deadliest shooting of the year when a suspect, citing racist replacement theory, killed 10 in a Buffalo supermarket.
Racist replacement theory is the neo-schmozzy great replacement theory, practically a staple in Republican dialogue and circles these days. But let's not beat around the bush. The evidence does not point to leftists. The numbers lay bare at the reality. Right-wing extremists committed every ideological-driven mass killing identified in the United States in the year 2022, with an unusually high proportion perpetrated by white supremacists, wrote Axios. Another talking point by Gaetz and the like is mental illness via American Progress. Despite many conservative politicians and the NRA's frequent invocation of mental illness, little evidence exists to suggest that mental illness is to blame for U.S. mass shootings. They'd go on to write, fact, while every country is home to people living with mental illness, the United States is the only country in the world that experiences mass shootings daily. An estimated 1 in 5 Americans live with a diagnosed mental illness. While other countries have similar levels of mental illness, none have the levels of mass shootings that the United States does. Moreover, countries with strong gun oversight experience significantly less gun violence.
Critical race theory is an explicitly racist ideology, and critical race theory is everywhere.
Obviously, none of this is true, but Republicans ran on it over and over again to then potentially open up the voter base to white people are under attack, which potentially, in a conservative politician's eyes, gets them down the pipeline to spout great replacement theory and then vote for them.
It's inconceivable that a white teacher would be teaching white children that they are evil because they're white. But that's what people think. Even though it's blatantly false. Critical race theory is an intellectual sort of field that emerged in the late 1970s and early 1980s among legal scholars and lawyers who were recognizing that racial disparity was persisting despite the public pronouncements that all these laws on the books were race neutral. And so these scholars recognized that something was wrong here and that they had to take a new critical approach to examining the law, to examining policies, to examining structures which they recognized were the source of these continuing disparities and not what's wrong with people.
Here's another boogeyman to the right who lays out what exactly CRT is, Ibram X. Kendi.
Like, why is it that the women with the least likelihood of getting pregnant are the ones most worried about having abortions? Nobody wants to impregnate you if you look like a thumb. These people are odious on the inside and out. They're like 5'2", 350 pounds, and they're like, give me my abortions or I'll get up and march and protest. And I'm thinking, march? You look like you got ankles weaker than the legal reasoning behind Roe versus Wade. A few of them need to get up and march. They need to get up and march for like an hour a day, swing those arms, get the blood pumping, maybe mix in a salad.
This is an insane thing to say from a lawmaker, showing so much about not only his character, but what conservative voters really want.
This morning, Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz is under investigation. The House Ethics Committee revealing that it is continuing to probe Gaetz over explosive allegations, including that he engaged in sexual misconduct and illicit drug use, accepted improper gifts, and that he sought to obstruct government investigations of his conduct.
Hey, I appreciate you watching. Now, if you can, please do become a channel member by going to youtube.com/TYTsports and clicking the join button. If that's too much for you, you can just go to tyt.com/join to become a member. It helps all of us out here at the Young Turks and keeps our network afloat. In addition, you could follow me on my socials on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate the love. Have a great day.